Hello and welcome. Welcome back, everybody, to the New Orleans Nets stream. Welcome. It is another day, a new day. 2 days after a pretty valiant performance against the Cavaliers. We're back at it again for Game 11. It is the Pelicans taking on the Nets, and the Pels. They are heavily depleted. I mean, you look at that starting five there, and it's fair to say that that is a shadow of their earlier season selves. I mean, they don't have McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Zion, and Herb Jones, who I'm pretty sure were all there match day one. Now they've basically had to go deeper and deeper into their bench in order to put out a team. And their bench is not looking all that good now. I'll actually show you. Well, I won't be able to show you, but I will be able to tell you what their bench was in the most recent match. It's pretty dire. They got like no output from that bench, and that gives us a really good shot of winning today, especially given our performances in recent memory. Only one player in double figures off the bench, and really 18 bench points. Like, they scored 88 in the game. Brandon Boston got 26, Alvarado 21, Ingram 11. So Brandon Ingram got outdone by every one of his starting acquaintances except the center, which is Missy, the rookie. So this should be a pretty comfy performance, I would imagine, but strange things have happened in the NBA. Jordan Hawkins is also out. So to put this game into context for the Pels, Ingram is their leading scorer, but then you look below and they're missing their next four best scorers. Zion on 22.7, McCollum on 18.8, Hawkins on 16.3, and DeJounte Murray on 14. And then you've only got two other players in double figures before you enter single figures. And that's Brandon Boston and Alvarado. And they would have probably entered double figures because of their performances last game where they both eclipsed 20. So, look, enough of talking about the Pelicans. We're talking about the Nets a little bit. The Nets, of course, lost to the Cavaliers by 5 and then lost to Boston the night before by 4. So the main key thing, I think, to extract out of this bunch of Nets games in recent memory, the defense has been excellent. In the opening half against the Cavaliers, it looked like that score was going to go up to about 70 for the Cavaliers because Mitchell was on a tear and they could not miss until the back end of the second quarter. The Nets started to go on a run, and it ended up being like a 30-5 run, bridging between the second and third quarters. And that got us the lead. We were up by 12 at three-quarter time, and then just everything collapsed. And I don't think that's too difficult to anticipate given the squad we have, and we're not an ISO optimal side, even though Cam Thomas, the stats actually indicate that he is... he's got the second best effective field goal percentage on ISOs. The two sandwiching him in spots 1 and 3 is Kyrie and Kevin Durant, which is just hilarious because, of course, former teammates. Cam Thomas was under their tutelage for the first couple of years of his career. So, it's pretty interesting how that just completely capitulated. Cam couldn't buy a bucket. I think he was, you can actually see on the bottom there, with this scroller we've got going 6 of 17, 2 of 7 from 3, 8 of 8 from the line, and 6 dimes. So he did a really good job of facilitating in the opening quarter. I think he had about 4 assists in half a quarter. And a lot of those were DFS was on the end of it. Speaking of which, DFS is out. And we've got a new entrant into the starting 5, Zaire Williams. So he's actually missed his last 13 threes after starting the season 9 of 15 from 3. So I think a main reason as to why we haven't really, shot the house down in the last couple of games is because these players like Wilson and Zaire have really fallen off in the last few games, and we're leaving quite a few points on the table because they haven't made shots in some pretty significant minutes they're playing. So yeah, we haven't exceeded 110 points in the last 4 games. You have to go all the way back to the Chicago match, and in that game we got 10 from Zaire, we got 12 from Johnson, 7 from Clowney, 7 from Wilson, and 12 from Claxton. So that's quite a bunch of bench points. That's what, 14, 24, 36, 48, 48 bench points. And that was in a game when Dennis had 9, and Finney Smith had 9, and Johnson had 14. So we need a bit more balance if we want to hit the peak that we hit a little bit earlier in the season. You'll notice a common trend with a lot of these games. Like in the Memphis win, when we scored 119, we yet again we only had 3 players in double figures in the starting lineup, but then you look at the bench: Zaire 17, Wilson 12. Ever since Clax has re-entered the starting lineup, it's created an interesting sort of dynamic. Ben Simmons is back though, after getting managed in the previous game. So with Finney Smith out, Clowney will play those backup 4 minutes. With Ben, probably. That's probably pretty easy to anticipate, I guess. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see too much alteration in who gets minutes. The other night, we played the starters for some pretty heavy minutes. So I mean, if we blow them out early, then obviously you'd want to, conserve the energy just a little bit. Yeah, so Finney Smith played 29. He actually played the least minutes out of anyone on the 2 nights of the back-to-back, but he's not playing. Johnson at 31, Clax at 32. Schroeder and Thomas are the ones that have played some very heavy minutes. But for Cam Thomas, you want to give him as many reps as possible. So, yeah, I think it's probably fair enough that we played him nearly 40 minutes the other night. That said, though, those 2 guys, they probably were the most turnover prone, and that's probably what got the Cavaliers the win. Interesting attitude and mindset by Geordie and even Cam Johnson. Like, the reporters asked them about fatigue, and Geordie even mentioned, I think I played these guys too long. So maybe, it's good to see a bit of accountability from the head coach, and it's good to see that these guys aren't accepting mediocrity, basically, even though the outside expectations are that we need to tank. I think it's actually a really good philosophy to have. You look somewhere like Portland, they got smacked up yesterday or the day before, and Chauncey Billups just went off at his playing group, and it's probably been a mindset for many years in Portland, or at least the last few years, to not necessarily win, and look where that's gotten them. Detroit have been in the same spot for years, and so have Charlotte. Charlotte have just started to pick things up, but they've got a new coach in, who was a different sort of philosophy compared to, the predecessors. I think it's Charles Lee is his name. Anyway, we're about to get this one underway, and it is the Nets taking on the Pelicans, a short-handed Pelicans at that as well. And I'm excited to see what the Nets deliver. We've had some really good opening quarters. Not as great an opening quarter the other night, but against Boston, we exited the gate pretty strongly. Trey Murphy's back for the Pelicans, though, and that's something that I think they're going to be pretty happy about, because he's a good player when he's at his best. Nice 3-and-D threat. That's usually when you come up against the Pels, you shit yourselves. Wait, that is not Brandon Boston. That is the wrong photo. Looks like the Yes Network have fucked that one up. But we're about to get underway, and there's quite a few empty seats at the Pels game. I imagine the tickets are pretty cheap as well. So they were trying to fill the venue out. Anyway, the Pelicans will get this one underway after they win the jump ball, and it will be Ingram as the main play they go through. Here's Alvarado, the kick out to Ingram, the catch and shoot three, and it's off. The rebound by the Nets. And Zaire, when he comes off the bench, he usually takes the best offensive player with that length he's got, and it looks like he's going to take on Ingram today as a new member of the starting lineup. The Nets here on the wing through Cam Thomas feed Claxton, but Alvarado pokes it away and gets the steal for the Pelicans. It's Murphy on the perimeter. Ingram on the left wing. He's going to drive down the middle and look for a handoff. He gives it to Murphy, and now the switch has Zaire pick him up on the outside. Cross. Wow. Dribble package was absolutely spammed there, and he threw up a wild layup. He missed it, but he got his own miss. And another second chance opportunity off for the Pelicans. The Nets will get into a set. It's Schroeder on the perimeter. The screen set by Claxton. Schroeder has to pick up his dribble. It's Williams on the perimeter, and he traveled. So, if that move worked, it absolutely had the Pelicans' defense on skates, but it's actually going the other way. And Alvarado's been, well, he always is proactive on defense, so I think he's going to be a fun player to watch for them today. Missy picks up his dribble. 3 for Ingram. That's off. Good contest by Z. And now Cam Thomas up top. Body bumped. Claxton. Alvarado is lurking. They're playing a bit of zone. Schroeder fakes the pass to the corner, and that is a brick. So 2 minutes have nearly elapsed, and we are still deadlocked at 0-0. It's Alvarado who weaves through. Good dump off. Knocked away by Claxton. The ball is loose. Ingram. Numbers commit. It's an open 3. Alvarado hits back iron. It's off. And it's going to be Nets ball, but I'm pretty sure it should have been Pelicans ball. There's been a lot of shots for both sides. A lot of opportunities to get on the board and get a little bit of separation while the other team sort of lags behind, but neither team seems like they want to score at the moment. It's Thomas. Doubled. Looking for a pass at Schroeder. They're playing that zone pretty nicely, actually. They go back into a man-on-man. Schroeder was off. They'll get it ahead. A lob, and it's Murphy. We've only had one shot. That has to be a typo. They've had 6 shots and we've had 1? Bullshit. So the Pelicans now are 1 of 7. They finally get on the board. Claxton, the body bump on Missy. It's off. The rebound by Ingram. And he's going to drive it in. He's going to kick it out. Extra feed. Boston for 3. That's off as well. Another board for Zaire Williams. I feel like the rebound numbers are going to be off the charts today. Schroeder. We have just a very, very subtle foul. Schroeder just chucked up an air ball after the whistle was called, so I hope that's not an indicator of what we're going to witness today. So Schroeder will trigger in on the side. It's Claxton, who needs to be assertive today, I feel like. Loopy pass. That was absolutely not on. Cam Johnson has barely had a touch in this game so far. He's getting guarded by Ingram. Schroeder will now inbound from the opposing corner. Here is Johnson. Quick trigger. The 3 is off. And we still don't have a bucket. They get it ahead. Early offense for the Pels. Ingram, the layup is good. And the Pels get out to a 4-0 start. It's been a very slow start for both teams. I wonder what was happening in shoot around. Schroeder penetrates, kick out to Zaire, and that's short as well. But the board is reclaimed by the Nets. It's off again, but Claxton gets the tip in. It's not clean, but the Nets convert, and it's taken nearly a whole 4 minutes. Who would have thought if you go 4 minutes without a score to open the game, you'd only be down 4-2? Ingram gets inside again. Good D by Zaire. but it does not matter. Ingram fading away, scores for 2 from about 13 feet. So 6-2. I don't want to know what the field goal percentages are so far. Johnson, the lob. Claxton tried to do it with one hand. I have no idea why. And now the Pelicans will capitalize on the miss, or they won't. That was an absolutely rogue pass by Alvarado, and it's flung out of bounds. It looks like we're going to get a timeout, or we're going to get subs. I just heard a whistle. It looks like it's going to be subs. So Wilson will check in at the 7:38 mark of the first quarter. The Pels are up 6-2. Javonte Green is in for the Pelicans. Jalen Noel is in for the Pels. I don't remember him playing for the Pelicans. Wilson still is on standby on the bench. Claxton needs to extra feed it. He gives it to Schroeder. The closeout by Alvarado. There's an open 3 in front of the bench, and we can't make it. Like, you cannot get much more of an open look than that, and it just doesn't go down. 6-2. Good roll by Missy, and it's a good make. 8-2. Mates, get a bucket, bro. Johnson's open again, same spot, and finally he gets one to go, and that's the first 3-pointer made by either side, and it's nearly halfway through the first quarter. 8-5. The Pelicans' way. It's Missy up top. Now Ingram guarded by Thomas on the left wing. It's a deep 2, and it's a make. 10-5. And it looks like Geordie's going to call a timeout with us with 5 points in 5.5 minutes. That is a rocky start for the Nets. But we've put Cam Johnson in the spotlight today, guys. Let me just refresh the page. Let me just fix this up. Alrighty. So currently we've got CJ in the spotlight today because he's had a couple of good games, and we're going to need to see something similar today. BI for the Pelicans, Ingram, has got 6, 3 makes, and he actually has more makes by himself than the entire Nets team do. Right now, the rebounding is a heavy feature. Brandon Boston's got 3 assists, which is a pretty good return thus far. For him, Zaya's got 3 rebounds, but no makes, a couple of misses in there, much like most of the Nets team. Thomas nor Schroeder have gotten on the board, and the Nets are 2 of 10 as opposed to the Pels, who are 5 of 12. They started 0 of 6, so they've reeled it back in nicely. But it's fair to say that this has not been a very offensively gifted start to the game, for sure. Remember me when the Cavs beat y'all? I do. 100%, mate. You made your presence felt in the chat, so we don't forget. We don't forget anyone. If you have just joined us, make sure to say hello in the chat as well, and drop a like if you're enjoying it so far. You're probably more grateful if you're not watching the game that you are watching me instead, because, mate, you don't want to watch the game. When the Nets have started scoring 2 buckets in 5 minutes of action, it's no fun. But we are getting a few looks, which is, I mean, all you can do, and you just got to wait till the shots start going down, I guess. But right now, a pretty meh lead for the Pels, given we've been complete crap. And we could be down by a single possession, depending on whether we decide to draw a nice play out of the timeout. Simmons is going to check in, so I'm looking for some more open looks here, because Ben is, he's dishing out dimes this season, which is a huge plus. Alrighty. So let's see what this team have got out the timeout. You know we're cooked if we can't draw up a good play, or we can't execute on the play. So Noel's picking up Schroeder in the full court. Boston remains in. Ingram's in. Green's in. And Missy remains in. So no changes actually for the Pels. Simmons, good cut by Wilson. And he gets it to go +1. And immediately the Nets are able to reap the benefits of a Ben Simmons playmaking. Or Ben Simmons playmaking, yeah. I was trying to make that sentence a bit more than what it needed to be. Wilson will get an and one opportunity, though. And Wilson is benefiting from a system, an offensive system, which really places emphasis on more cutting. We did not see that at all last year. Or maybe we did see it, but it was never honored. But now we're looking for those passes every single time. So the Nets down 10-8 and pretty fortunate to be in that position. Green feeds Ingram in the post, guarded by Schroeder, who's being quite physical with him. Wilson comes with the trap. Now the fadeaway too. It's good. So Ingram's got 2/3 of the Pelicans' points, and it has the Pelicans up 4. It's Simmons looking for a handoff. It's Wilson who will drive it in himself. Ben, backdoor cut, and then Claxton the extra feed. A beautiful play by the Nets. It's Simmons with the no-look pass, and I don't imagine the spacing is all that great with Ben and Claxton on the board, or on the court, but with Schroeder and Thomas also out there, you've got a fair bit of shooting. We've got a take foul here, and I believe it's on Simmons. He would have seen the cutter down the middle and probably wanted to prevent that pass before it got there. But that pass was never actually honored, and it was just a pretty unnecessary foul in the end. So 12-10, Claxton will head out, and I believe Clowney would enter. And I'm correct. So Clowney in. We've got a lot of switchability with this lineup. That is a wild attempt by Boston. Missy fought for it. On the glass, he got it back. Well done by the Rook. Ingram had to chuck one up, and, the ball never hit the rim. That whole sequence, so the Nets force a shot clock violation. A wild 3 by Ingram did not hit the rim. So, good defense overall by the Nets. And so, the Nets can, amazingly enough, for the shit start they've had, can tie or take the lead. 5 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Thomas on the perimeter. Schroeder's got a bit of space, but he doesn't take the 3 from the left wing. Schroeder to the corner for Clowney. That's well short, but Ben gets the offensive board. Thomas is an open look, and he scores. The second chance points are converted. The Nets are in front. Somehow. I mean, I shouldn't say somehow. We're playing the Pelicans, but here's Ingram. We're playing a bit of zone. Open man under the basket was Missy, and he makes the 2. The enforcing dunk. Simmons, corner. Clowney's not afraid to shoot it, and he knocks it down. The quick trigger and the quick response. And the Nets are back up, this time by 2. Biggest lead of the game. It's Ingram, guarded by Clowney on the outside, and Clowney may cause a few problems, and he forces an off-balance delivery, and that's well short. It was almost an air ball. Schroeder's going to put the head down, shoot off glass. It's off. Wilson gets the board, and it's going to be a foul. They didn't call a jump ball. That was a very clear tie-up, and they've just plucked a foul out of absolutely nothing. And it's going to mean Jalen Wilson is going to shoot a couple of free throws at the line. So the Nets have started to find a little bit of balance with the way their offense is going. Wilson in on the first try. So the Nets can get this out to a 2-possession game. It's Keon Johnson who checks in. Johnson squared actually checks in for Thomas and Schroeder. So we're going with a bit of a taller lineup here. Ben's basically the point guard, and he's guarding the best player on the defensive end. And then we've just got a bunch of wings, really. Ben knocks it away nicely, but the Pelicans still retain. And a nice push shot there by Noella. Nice little move to get inside. Clowney's open for 3, top of the key. That's good as well. That's 3, number 2 for Noah. And it's now up to 5. So the Nets all of a sudden have found a bit of flow. Ingram, cross, gets inside, bit of bully ball. The 2 goes down. And that's probably what you can exploit with Clowney. If you get physical with him and try to negate that wingspan he's got, well, then you're done for. Ben can't get the bounce. Interesting floater for that shot. Ingram tries to draw a foul, and that's ridiculous. How on earth is that a foul in the modern NBA? How is that a foul in any form of the NBA? So we've got a timeout here. I don't know if it's a Pelicans timeout or a Nets timeout, but we sit at 21-18 now. Alrighty. There are 5 NBA games on today, all starting at the same time. Yeah, the slate of games today is a bit odd. There's not really one that catches your eye on paper. The Thunder play the Clippers. That's probably the best one. And then you've got Houston playing Washington. You'd think that's going to be one-sided. The Cavaliers are playing Chicago. To Chicago's credit, Chicago are up. And then the Kings are beating the Spurs at the moment. So, yeah. If we look at the box score, we can see this some good new developments. I don't know why 2 points have been chalked off for the Nets. Ben Simmons has been on the court for 3 minutes and got 5 assists, bro. What the hell? I guess to the credit of the bench, they've knocked down the majority of their shots. And Ben just happens to be the playmaker in all of those, which is a great sign. That's awesome. Mate, Ben, 5 assists in 3 minutes. Ingram's got 10 for the Pels, and he's going to be almost the Lone Ranger today, you would suspect. That's actually crazy, though. Ben's got 5 of our 6 assists, and he's been on for 3 minutes of the game. That's pretty ridiculous numbers. That's a ridiculous pace. And as you can see, their rotation is just scuffed. As for how we're shooting the ball at the moment, 4 of 8 from deep. So the 3-pointers, the minute they started falling, our offense has been given a significant boost. And the Pelicans still haven't made a 3-point shot. So that's probably why they're down at the moment. They've done things the cheaper way. And, well, they don't have any free throws. They don't have any threes. It's just straight 2s for them. Alrighty. Jesus. Cam Thomas is shooting 47% on field goals that are taken with 4 seconds or fewer on the shot clock. And that's on 34 attempts. The Nets have taken the most of those, of that profile of shot as well, at 124, which is not a good thing either. I don't know if it says anything about how we're using the clock. Anyway, we resume. It's Alvarado who will give it to Murphy. Daniel Tice is in the game with Robinson Earl. That's basically an air ball by Trey Murphy. What's going on here? There's a shot clock issue and it's going to be reset to 12. Ben, the only thing I have to knock him for is his offensive, or his boxing out. I feel like he gives away, or has given away, a ton of offensive rebounds this season so far when he does play. Here's Murphy, gets inside. The kick out. Ben with the steal. He got in the passing lane. It's now Wilson in transition. Alvarado on him. The chase down block by Murphy. He bats it to himself. What a brilliant individual play. But he's well held up by Johnson, so he's just going to have to slow things down. He's walking a tightrope. He's on an island with Johnson. He's going to take it at him. Ben, good D, and it's going the other way. Ben Simmons is making shit happen. You love it. Planted the feet. Got in the way. And Murphy just barreled him down. So that's not the way you want to end that individual sequence if you're Murphy. That was a really good moment there. Redeemed himself for actually turning the ball over. Here's Johnson on the outside for the Nets. That's CJ. Ben, given a lot of space. Johnson's open in the corner, and he knocks it down like Alvarado does not exist. So, Nets up 6, 24-18. Murphy just passed it straight to space, and the Nets were more proactive. It's Johnson, the cross, the step back three. It's off. Wilson will chase up the rebound. Cross-court pass to Ben. Layup. Yes! Ben is getting involved. Mate. Ben's first quarter, I know it's against the Pels, but he has done so much in this little burst here. Murphy, oh, come on, bro. How are you calling a foul for that? Clowney's just fucking standing there, and he's just... Like, Murphy just put his head into the body of Clowney, really, initiated the contact. Clowney always stayed vertical, I feel like. Ben's looking good today, at least. Free throws here, though, for the Pels. It's Murphy, so it's pretty clear the hierarchy works something like this. It's going to be Ingram, well, when he's on, and then Murphy with, well, in those minutes that Ingram is on the bench, basically. The Nets are going to get into a set pretty quickly here. It's Johnson to the other Johnson, and now Wilson will drive baseline, nearly out of bounds. Clowney, short pass to Wilson, who rolls it back out. Drive, off balance, that was well short, and good defense by Tice. Flung ahead by Alvarado, the Euro by Green, it's off. Good D by Clowney, the rebound by Ben. And he's going to slow things right down as we are in the final minute of the opening quarter. The Nets will target this 2-for-1. Flings across court with Venom. They send it to the corner. It's off by Clowney, but Johnson tried to retrieve it. He got fended off it, and the Pelicans will hold, but a 2-for-1 execution there. Not perfect, but they've got that shot difference. Shot clock and game clock difference. Here's Alvarado up top. The switch, he's got Ben on him. He's going to accelerate to the rim. The step back two. Rims out. The board by Clowney. We've got to move it. And he's just passed it straight to the opposition, and it's a layup. You could have seen that from a mile away. For fuck's sake. Johnson heaves one up at the half-court line. That's such a careless turnover by Noah. You could foresee that pass resulting in only bad things by Clowney there. But that is the opening quarter. Done and dusted. The Nets are up by 4. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We won't be back for Nets Celtics in a couple of days. I'm going to give myself a breather, maybe make a video as opposed to do a stream. And then we'll be back for Nets Knicks. That'll be the first game for the NBA Cup. And that'll be the reunion against Mikal. Who, by the way, Knicks fans have absolutely lost it at Mikal. At least they did yesterday. I watched that Indiana Knicks game yesterday, and my goodness, Mikal was a traffic cone. it was just very fascinating to watch. I mean, that Knicks team conceding 130. It's just mental to me. Anyway, quarter one is done. And look, that is a much better quarter than I could have imagined given our start. We scored 2 points in 5 minutes. Ben Simmons has 2 points, only 2 points, but he's had 6 assists in 6 minutes and a steal. He's actually been stuffing the stat sheet, which is, of course, something that you want to see from him because that's what he's most known for. But it's been quite a while since he's actually had a sustained run of form, doing that sort of thing. So good to see, because I think his previous game against, was it Boston? 8 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, I think. So he may be pushing something similar. We've only gotten 3 points from Cam Thomas, so that's a plus. Very clear the Pels are playing through Brandon Ingram, and then when he's off, Trey Murphy takes responsibility. He's already had 4 shots, Trey Murphy, but I believe he's on a minutes restriction. So far, though, pretty good showing from the bench unit. Johnson's hit a 3. Wilson's hit been very proactive in getting to the free throw line. So that's pretty important given, how shit we were to commence this match. We lead by only 4, but we lead by 4. And yeah, as I said, given that start, we were like 2 of 10. That's what we need. 16 bench points is the key stat here. Ben Johnson on the wraparound, let the defender go by and knocks down the tray. Up goes the trade value and up goes the scoreline for the Nets. Favoring the Nets, 29-22. The Nets have hit 6 3-pointers at just a fraction under 50%. The Pels have not hit a 3-pointer today. That is the difference in this game at this stage. So, the 5 on the floor for the Nets is Clowney, Wilson, Simmons, Johnson squared. Here's Ingram. Drive and kick. Open 3. Steps into it, and it's a make. Robinson Earl. I swear this guy was with OKC, I believe. Johnson takes it in. Clowney relocates to the corner. It wasn't a perfect pass, so he had to put the ball on the floor. And then he's pushed into a pass, basically. Keon Johnson. Bounce past Clowney, top of the key. And that's his spot he's targeting. But he's had a mixed bag of results, and he misses there. Ingram drive. Good feed. It's Noel in the corner. That's good as well. The net barely moved. And feels like our defense is collapsing and allowing those open threes. That was a bit of a shoddy pass there by Ben Simmons. Wilson, back to Ben. Neglected the cutter for a 3, and Wilson misses from way downtown. The Pels have started this second quarter with a pretty high tempo offense. Noel feeds Ingram. Good cut down the middle. Blocked by Clowney. Johnson to the other Johnson. Extra feed. Wilson blocked. It nearly got tipped in on the block. Goodness me. Ingram stops. Pops. Got it. Pels are back in front. They've scored 8 consecutive to start this second quarter. And it's looked pretty easy. I don't know what's going on with the Yes Network graphics at the moment. They're all over the place. But the Pels are on an 8-0 run. Johnson is doubled. That's knocked away. And the steal and the jam. And we're going to get a timeout because that was... Well, I don't know what's going on with the Nets out the gate here in this second quarter. And it's... Well... What we've done to start this second quarter is basically how we started the first quarter, except, well, feel like we've had a couple good looks, but yet again, just can't make them. Pelicans have forced a couple turnovers from us as well. And on that occasion there, it was a pretty easy leak out. Johnson was trapped. Ball got deflected. and then you had the help defense come over to anticipate where the ball was going. Easy leak out. So the Pels have started this quarter with, well, we scored the first 3 actually, but they've scored the next 10. So nice little fight back here for the New Orleans Pelicans, who, as we've said today, are short-handed, and it's no joke how short-handed they actually are. They are missing McCollum, Murray, Williamson. Who am I missing? Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins. It's a long list. A very long list. So, yeah. Amazingly enough, despite our slow start, the Clippers and the Thunder are in another tight tussle. Feels like that's the case in a lot of the games today from what I'm gauging, except for the Cavaliers game. Their games are always offensively powered. They've already got 50 in about 16 minutes. Yeah, goodness me. Both teams in that Thunder Clippers game not shooting the ball well. Not at all. Cavaliers game, what's going on there? Cavaliers game, Mitchell's got 22 in the first half. That says it all right there. No one else has more than 6. They've already hit 9 threes. They are putting up threes at a ridiculous rate this season. 21 threes already, and there's 8 minutes left in the second quarter. That should be fireable, honestly. That is just absolutely ridiculous. That is just, yeah. That shot profile should not be allowed. I guess, though, the more threes you take, you can sort of shoot a little bit lower than the mean. But if you're still making the shots, like the Cavaliers are doing, like, then it sort of, compensates, sort of balances out. Ben's going to take it in. I swear he traveled. Wilson cut down the middle, and that's a good find by Ben. That's assist number 7. So 32-31, the score with 9 minutes left to play. Ingram, that's just automatic. And the Pelicans get it back up to 3. Ingram is doing it with ease so far in this game. There hasn't really been too much resistance. Good find by Ben, cross court. I didn't even see that. Clowney couldn't convert. And the Pels here will look to expand that lead a little bit more. Ingram gets inside, and it is not on the shot. It's waved off. It'll be on the side. It's Johnson committing the personal. So Claxton's going to check back into the game. Thomas is also going to come in, as the Nets have struggled for a little bit of offense here to start the second quarter. Clowney's going to exit the game, so I'm not really sure about his performance. But they're letting this Ben Claxton partnership go on a little bit longer than I think I would have anticipated in this game. Given the lack of spacing, that's too easy of a roll. Open 3 in the corner. It's off. Ben not boxing out. That's the second one he's given away. Well done by Claxton to force basically a tie-up and then block the shit out of it. But the Pelicans are going to end up with the ball. So great defense by Nic Claxton on Ingram, but unfortunately the Nets are going to have to do that all over again and protect the rim like their life depends on it. 7 to shoot for the Pelicans here. They're going to look for Ingram again. That's pretty easy. They didn't deny him the ball. It rimmed out, and a good rebound by Johnson. I thought that could be knocked away. Schroeder's back in as well. So now we're playing 3 guards with Ben and Claxton. Ben in the post. The hook off glass. Benjamin. Mate, he's doing way more than I anticipated today. He's off a break. Ingram for 3. That's a tough contested shot. And Ben with the board. The no-look to Johnson. Fakes the handoff to Thomas. Takes it himself. Missed it. Got his own miss. Passed up a layup for a Thomas mid-range. The Nets are back in front. That's well worked by the Nets. We navigated that one pretty well. 35-34. 7:30 to play. Second quarter. Pelicans pass it to the corner. Robinson Earl trying to shake off Ben Simmons. It's good defense, but I didn't know Robinson Earl had that in his bag. And he converts for 2 to get the Pelicans back in front of quite a few lead changes in this game so far. Schroeder is well doubled. Cam Thomas rolls round. They look for the lob. The lob wasn't there. Schroeder's down. It's a 2-on-2 fast break. Noel gets rid of the man and scores the bucket. Gets it up to 3. The Nets get into a set. Rapid fire. Ben with another assist as Schroeder hits the corner tray. 38 all, but Ben has nearly 10 assists in the first half. This is ridiculous. Ingram is doubled. Good drive by the Pels. We went vertical, forced the miss, but we allowed the offensive board again. Short on the 3 is Robinson Earl. Ben with another rebound. Good backdoor cut. Johnson with the slam. Ben with the find again. Say it on repeat. Ben with the dime. Oh my goodness. Mate, Ben. Bro, this is ridiculous. Ben, great vision. He was gesturing for Johnson to do that cut because there was so much space under the basket. And all you needed is just a player to take initiative off the ball, and Ben was going to honor the man. And ladies and gentlemen, Ben Simmons has 10 assists. He's got 10 assists in 12 minutes. Holy shit. What the hell? No other net has more than 2. And heck, the 2 is from Keon Johnson, bro. How is this happening? How is this happening? Ben Simmons has 10 assists in 12 minutes. This is not a typo. What is actually going on here? Ben, I don't know what the record is for assists off the bench, or like within a certain range of minutes. But his per 36 numbers for assists right now would be off the charts. So this is actually a bit cooked. And he's already got 4 points and 4 boards. Triple-double watch is well and truly on here. For sure. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets, Knicks on the weekend. Right. I actually don't know what's going on here, though. This is absolutely ridiculous. 10 assists in 12 minutes, mate. And the offense has just looked quite clearly more fluent with him on the court. He's just making shit happen. When you have cutters off the ball doing so in abundance, like Ben's going to honor that every time, man. 10 assists. So 40-38, we're halfway through the second quarter, and yes, well, unfortunately, Ben has got to go to the bench. He's already got 10 assists, though. How the hell does Ben have 10 assists in the second quarter? Halfway through the second quarter, Ben has 10 assists. I can't stop saying it because, like, fam, I don't think he's had 10 assists in like a year. And he's had it in 12 minutes of action, bro. The Nets do well to blitz. Zaire's back in the game, so we've got that length in the front court. Boston drives. Zaire did well to remain with. He forced the miss, and Johnson had it battered to him by Claxton on that rebounding attempt. It's Schroeder, the driving kick. Johnson steps into a three. It's off, and the rebound was out of reach for Claxton, even though Missy had gone to the floor. So the Pelicans will look to retake the lead. Boston gets inside. Good shifty move. It somehow didn't go in, and Zaire Williams will capitalize on that advantage. The Nets will not score here through Schroeder. He didn't get enough lift. The Pelicans leak out. Robinson Earl the slam. Pretty straightforward flush. Claxton is just out of screen here. So we're just playing, well, we were playing a four-man offense for about 7 or 8 seconds there. Claxton re-enters the frame, ready to screen for Thomas, but Thomas doesn't use it. Good D by Noel. Thomas pirouettes, and it's basically an air ball, a pretty tough shot for any player in the NBA. Boston will give it back to Noel. Schroeder got decked, and it just allowed a wide open three in the corner for Javonte Green, who never had a man contest him. So 4:30 to play here in this opening half. It's Williams out to Thomas, back to Claxton, and back to Thomas. Screen, Claxton rolls, kick out to Williams. It's an open look, and he responds with a three of his own. And that's the first one he's made in about 15 tries over like 6 or 7 games. So, or 4 or 5 games. So that is good to see that one go through. Noel on the outside. Good pocket pass. Green lost it out of bounds on his way up. And the Pels will have to live with a reset on the baseline with 11 to shoot. So 4:03 to play. It's 43 all. And Schroeder will man this inbounding possession. It's Alvarado doing the triggering in here for New Orleans. All right. Looks like we've got a little stoppage here because someone hit the deck, but we resume now. They looked for the cut under the basket, and that one was well read by the Nets, knocked away. They'll go again with 4:01 left in the quarter, but 9 to shoot. The Pels are going to execute a play that opens up a man on the outside. It's Missy, who will hand off to Ingram, who will fade away on the baseline. It's a tough make over the outstretched arm of Claxton. It's a 2-point lead. So the Pels up 2. Been pretty competitive today. It's Schroeder with an open look, and that looked very, very good upon release. The Nets retake the lead again. And Schroeder's made a couple of threes in the quarter. Murphy bounce past to Alvarado. Calls for a screen. Missy on the roll. Stops. Tried the hook shot. I don't know where the foul was. There had to be a hand on the body there somewhere, but Claxton swatted the crap out of it anyway, so there was never going to be a chance of an and one opportunity. It'll be 2 free throws for Missy with 3:19 left in the half. So 2 free throws here. And the first one is precise. Second free throw is good. So the Pelicans in front now by 1. I'd love to get a look at these lead changes, man. Johnson, screen set off the ball for him. has Ingram on the hip, and he scores the nice little scoop. Beautiful corkscrew. It's now Ingram who gets inside. The chase down block by Williams. I don't even know if that's possible in the half court, but the Pels, so lucky, man. The amount of times we've actually blocked shots or been incredibly persistent on defense, and the Pelicans just managed to get an open look. It just goes to show that if you commit your numbers and you aren't able to fully 100% affect the play, then that's going to result in bad things, because there's going to be open men everywhere. The Nets have the ball here inside the final 3 minutes. Thomas gets inside, moves to the left, and Thomas has been pretty bad, admittedly. Ingram is going to step into a three, and that didn't even move. The Pels looking to reinforce this lead going into the half. Schroeder on the outside. The Pels have scored 31 in the quarter. Johnson, the bounce pass to Claxton at the elbow. He'll look for a handoff. Thomas cut. It's going to be Williams who shoots a three, and that was never going to be the go. And now the Pelicans can make this a 3-possession game. It's Ingram again, steps into a three, it rattles home. And Ingram, I reckon he's got about 23 points. He has just been on a tear in this game. 8-point lead. Alvarado is absolutely on Schroeder's hammer. Skip pass, good look. Didn't have enough lift though, and Zaire had to put the rock on the floor, and he misses the flip. The Nets have got to get a stop here, because this could get a bit ugly going into the halftime break. Boston, Missy, handoff. Ingram again, he's feeling it. That was a heat check. 8-point game. Thomas, he's got an open look for two, and he knocks it down. Missy was playing drop coverage and didn't close it out in time. So 1 minute to play here in this opening half. The Nets exceed 50. The Pels have scored 34 in the quarter, and there's still a bit of time to play. That's knocked away, though. Johnson picked up his dribble, passed it off to Williams, and he's fouled going up by Ingram. I thought there was a take foul there, because Cam Johnson was clearly held, and he picked up his dribble. So 2 free throws here for Zaire. Good job by the Nets getting it ahead. 43 seconds left though, so the Pelicans will look to execute a 2-for-1 after this stoppage. Zaire's been a really good free throw shooter so far this year, so I'd back him in to make both, but I've probably just committed the commentary curse. 56-51 the score. 1 free throw imminent. And the second free throw goes down. 4-point game. Ingram will be picked up full court by Zaire, who's going to make life incredibly difficult given the form Ingram's in. The double arrives. Johnson knocked it away. And yet again, we don't secure. It's an open look. We're lucky. It's off hands, and the Nets get the rebound. Jesus Christ, that could have been another example of what I said a few minutes ago about not committing the play in tight, or committing fully to the play, or impacting the play fully. Schroeder's looking visibly upset with the way that Alvarado's defending him, but in the end a little bit overzealous, and he's just given away a foul, Alvarado, without the Nets even getting into a set. So free throws for Schroeder to get this down to a single possession again. And if he makes this free throw, the Nets have scored the last 6 and taken the wind out of the sails for the Pelicans. Johnson's in. for defensive purposes. And that's going to be pretty important because Ingram has... Well, they're going to look for Ingram this entire 16 and a half seconds that they've got to work with. Schroeder's second free throw is good. So 56-54. And it's going to be Alvarado who gets it past half court. That's good D by Schroeder. The intensity's lifted from both teams. Ingram. Oh, come on. Do we have a foul to give? I would say we did. So, yes, we did. That's a good foul. 4 seconds is a lot... Well, isn't as attractive of a proposition for the Pelicans to work with as opposed to having 16 and a half on the clock. So, Pels on the side will need to manufacture something here with 4 seconds left. They get it into Murphy. It's a pass out of bounds and it's going to be net ball. We're going to have a chance to score. 1.2 seconds here. Please don't be an idiot. Just get it into the front court and pray. Let's see. Nope. We're just going to send it in the back court. Johnson's not going to get that up in time. And he nearly scored it, to be fair. But that's going to be the break. 56-54, the scoreline. A pretty even contest, this one. There's been a lot of jabs and punches thrown. Not literally, but a fair bit of persistence shown by both teams. 34 points for the Pels there in that second quarter to retake the lead that they did not have in the first half or first quarter. Ben has to know that he has 10 assists for sure. Just listening to this Ben halftime press conference, he scored or assisted on 30 Nets points. And that's the 5th time in his career he's done that. Believe it or not, he's actually done this before with the Nets, and I should be able to recall it, but I don't. Maybe there was a game where he had like 15 assists and he scored like 8 and 8 or something. That is the half. In case you've missed the memo, Ben Simmons has 10 assists in 12 minutes. And I feel like that's the main headliner of a story in this first half so far. We've got Cam Johnson in the spotlight and he scored 8 points on pretty decent efficiency. Schroeder's hit a couple of threes. Clowney has taken 6 shots. That's more than Cam Thomas, which is nuts to me. Cam Thomas is 3 of 5 so far. Wilson's got 7. I feel like we've had a pretty good balance of scoring, but Ingram has just been on a heater. 22 points, and no one else really comes close. Robinson Earl has been good for them off the bench. 9 points for him. And Trey Murphy in his returners. Not been too bad, but he's been a bit turnover prone, and the Nets have sort of capitalized on that a little bit. But overall, I mean, you look at the scoring breakdown for the Nets, that is incredibly balanced. Not one net in double figures, yet every net has 4 points or more. I think the main key for me is maybe getting Claxton a little bit more involved, because 4 points in a half is not going to cut it. Even though he's been a pretty good defensive presence with a couple of blocks in there. Zaires been all right, I guess, as the on-ball defender for Ingram, but they've exploited the switching too much. I feel like Cam Thomas has been on Ingram way too much. And Ingram's had 19 shots. 19 shots! We've got to do a way better job of limiting that output. I'll tell you what, if we had a Finney Smith type presence to be very physical with him, that would go all right in a game like this, because, well, that's exactly what he was in previous games. Like when Donovan Mitchell started well last game, he had he had 4 threes in like the first half, maybe even the first quarter. You know, we needed a physical player to get on Donovan Mitchell, deny him the ball, lower that usage rate, and well, that's exactly what he did. I don't think Mitchell really scored more than like 5 points for 20 minutes. So we just need a player like Finney Smith out there. We don't have that. So someone else is going to have to step up to the plate. Overall, though, he's just been a gun. 10 of 19. It's good efficiency. It's a pretty high volume, though, for the amount of points he's actually put up. There hasn't been too many threes in that. So a lot of two-pointers. And that's probably why we are so in this game. That said, the Pels did a good job. Like, they were 0 of 6 to start the game from 3, and they've gone 50% since. And the Nets are shooting above 40% on 21 tries, which is also a positive. But inside the arc, probably leaving a bit to be desired there at 40%. They're shooting better from 3 than inside the arc. Turnover-wise, we're being good. Only the 5, which is great. Especially seeing no turnovers from Ben. When you're scoring or assisting on 30 Nets points and you haven't turned the ball over, well, that's only going to result in good things for you, you know? So I can fully get behind that. Okay. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Knicks in a few days, not Nets Boston. Even like, it's not because I think we're going to lose that game. It's just want to put out some other content, and that is an ample amount of days to probably get something out. All right. Interesting. So the Nets were +7 in Ben Simmons' 12 minutes, which you can see on the screen there. The Nets were -9 in the other 12 minutes. So I think to win this game, amazingly enough, I can't believe I'm saying this, Ben Simmons needs to play. Nets to record double-digit assists in a half against the Pels since the Pels have existed. James Harden and Ben Simmons. There you go. Nets are outscoring the Pels 14-6 in the shared Ben Simmons Claxton minutes this evening. With that duo, the key to their offense is their defense. If they can get stops, and they should, given the skill sets they can get out in transition. That's a good point. I'm interested to see how we use Ben Simmons in the second half, because I feel like he got, like, on the first night of the back-to-back against Boston, he got used for 27 minutes. Now, right now, he's on 12. So I feel as if we get 15 minutes out of him in that second half, or even pushing 30, we should win. Because I think offensively and defensively, we're going to be well suited to get this game sorted. Ben's he has been the best player on the court for us. You know, a lot of these players do not have points to their name if Ben isn't dropping dimes the way he is. And some of them are so clean. So clean. So, you know, honoring the cutters, I think that's the big one. This offense that Geordie's got running, where he just emphasizes the cut, that is paradise for Ben. Paradise. So, I think, yeah. Second half, I don't think Ingram's shooting is sustainable, Ian. I agree with you on that. To be fair, though, he's missed 9 shots. So it's not like he's gone berserk. It's more just in the last couple of minutes where he's just gone crazy, really. But it looks like we're going to have another situation of a close game. Alrighty. Let me just actually see how this has gone. Quarter 2. Let's just have a look at all the shots Ingram put up late in the game. Or later on. So to end it, you've got an Ingram miss. But then he made 1, 2. He just made 2 threes in a row. A fadeaway 2. So in the last me have a look. When did he come into the game again? He came in at the 4:03 mark and he had 14 points. So he scored 8 in about 4 minutes, which probably isn't as explosive as I thought. But that being said, he didn't score in the final minute 30. So he scored 8 points in 2 minutes. Probably looks a little bit more deceiving then. Overall, though, I don't really know what to make of this first half. Yet again, though, it's more of what I'm wishing for. Just compete. And we'll see what the outcome is. I'm not opposed to either outcome. So yeah, we're shooting 41% from the field, 43% from 3. That's a good mark. Few offensive rebounds in there, but they've had more. They're out rebounding us by 6. Excuse me. And both teams have 16 assists. Turnovers pretty similar. It's a pretty even game. So there's not really much that separates the two. I think it's going to be a good second half. Hopefully it doesn't start as slowly as it did to commence the game. Because yeah, it was a pretty rocky start, I will say. Okay. I'll tell you what though, the backcourt for the Pelicans have been crap, mate. Or just the Pelicans backcourt in general. Boston and Alvarado have not scored. They've not scored, yet they are somehow in this game. Noel scored 7 off the bench. Robinson Earl 9. It's actually baffling to me how they lead. If it wasn't for Ingram, they would be just... they've been very dire straits. The fact they've gotten to 56 points with Ingram's 22. So it's going to take a monumental performance for them to have to get the W. Did the Nets win the Ben trade all those years ago? No. I love how you've called it the Ben trade and not the James Harden trade. Because you're only going to remember it for the James Harden trade. Look, we still have a player we acquired in that trade, whereas the Sixers don't. But they did free up cap in order to get probably Paul George. So it really depends on on how you view it, almost. Like if we look, we got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Drummond, a 2022 first round unprotected pick. I don't know who we got with that pick. Let's have a look, actually. 2022 NBA draft. Love that question, by the way. Because this prompts a little bit of thinking here. Where did that pick go? I'm trying to think. Where did we... I'm going to assume that pick went... That was David Roddy. But I don't think the Sixers drafted him. We didn't draft him. I don't think. I'm pretty sure we may have traded a Sixers pick for O'Neal. Potentially. And then we just lost him for... Who did we trade him for? I don't remember who we traded O'Neal for. Did we even trade O'Neal? Or was he just a free? Yeah, no, so the Suns acquired O'Neal from the Nets and David Roddy for the Grizzlies for a trio of second round picks. So the second round picks, I don't know what they have resulted in. We may have used those... I don't know. It just gets all too complex. But we still have Ben, I guess. We still have Ben. And the Sixers don't have anything from that trade anymore. I feel like for both teams, though, the thing that you're going to win on is the cap space. Like once those contracts expire, your like your payroll is just free. It's so like fluent. You can get basically whatever player you want. And that's probably why we've been in the sweepstakes for Giannis and Jimmy Butler, because I mean Jimmy Butler's going to be a free agent. I don't know what money he's going to be demanding, but you know Giannis is on a ridiculous contract and you need a lot of cap. And so at that point, you could almost re-sign Ben for like cheap. Like I'm talking like a $10 or $15 million deal and still have enough to afford Giannis. God, the spacing would be crap. And if you were getting Giannis, you'd probably have to trade Claxton or something like that. And just the number of other salaries, really. Anyway, we're about to get this second half kick-started. Alrighty. So 56, 54. Second half about to start. And I think the biggest question for this second half is how many minutes is Ben Simmons going to play? Because he clearly optimizes our ability to win. But do we want to win? Do we want to win? Or do we want to see Ben Simmons drop 20 assists? Johnson going to go behind the back. Pass to Claxton in the block. He's going to shoot with the right hand. That's off. Oh my God, they've banked it in. They banked it in. Missy with the make. Except on the wrong ring. And it'll be Claxton who gets credited the points. It'd be so funny if you could get credited for like, just like an own goal. Like the same kind of thing. Murphy, back out to Alvarado, or Boston should I say, who's going to take it in down the middle. Body bump. It was a shocking layup attempt. And the Nets will run it forward with a high tempo. Johnson down the middle. Lost the ball. But there is a foul and it's on Missy. 2 free throws coming up. So good assertion by Johnson early in the frame. So free throws are going to come up here. Opening minute of the second half. The Nets already have 2 points that they scored without actually handling the rock. And now Johnson at the free throw line. So pretty unorthodox way to get kick-started here. But Johnson gives the Nets the lead back. And the main key in order to win this game in the second half is going to be throwing everything at Brandon Ingram. All your resources. The way you win is by stopping BI, who scored 22 first half points in case you've missed it. Second free throw here for Johnson is good. It's 58-56 out the gate here in this third quarter. It's Boston inbounding, and the Nets are picking up the Pelicans at the full court. Oh, I forgot about this. A 10-0 run. Because we were down 56-48. Good blitz. Ingram gets inside. Claxton, the tough contestant, forces a miss. Thomas bats it to Johnson. And the Nets are starting to chain together a number of stops. It's Johnson one-on-one with Missy. A lot of space being allowed. And he's going to shoot the step back 3 and knock it down. CJ. I'm loving this reinvigorated version of CJ, even if we may not have long to experience it. Jones for 3. Good response. And he hits to cut it back down to 2 and end a 13-0 run, bridging the end of the second and the start of the third. It's Schroeder. Zaire was open in the dunker spot. I thought we missed the opportunity, and we did. Murphy met him at the summit. I'm pretty sure I called him Herb Jones before. And Missy is pushed on the way up. That's a great block there. I don't know if it was Missy or Murphy. Take your pick. I don't think he's touched him, actually. But they're going to shoot free throws and gamble their luck. And Missy misses the first. So Johnson's been in a little bit of everything to start this one. Johnson is the first net in double figures, by the way. Missy makes the second, so they don't quite tie the game at 61, but they're damn close. And now Schroeder will hand off to Johnson. Now Thomas up top will drive, and they blitz the lob to Claxton. It's good. Love it. Love it. Love the chemistry. Love the playmaking. Love the execution. Ingram takes it inside. Extra feed. Missy for two. Steps into a dunk. You love the dime there by Ingram. And you imagine he's going to be forced to do that a lot more with whatever the Nets throw at Ingram in the second half. Claxton fakes the handoff, and he's fouled going up by Missy. It's going to be free throws. They're going to be in a bit of trouble if he gets in foul trouble, because I don't think they have any other recognizable center or center that really has played regular NBA minutes. So free throws coming up for Claxton, his first trip to the line for the night. And he makes the first. I think he made 2 of 3 the other night. Which is not too bad. So one free throw converted. Second free throw well aligned for Claxton. Converts both. And the Nets have it back up to 3. So nice little extended run here. The Pels playing through Boston. Trying to cross up Cam Thomas, but going nowhere. And now they feed Ingram in the post. The skip pass, no look to Alvarado. Oh, that's such a tough shot. How was he made that? It's a great find by Ingram. Already had 4 assists in the first half. You imagine he's going to rock double figures in that stat today. Thomas is blitzed again. Claxton looking for a pass. Fakes the handoff. The kick out to Zaire. He's open, and he hits from the corner. That's number 3 for the game for Zaire. Good look. He's going to need to hit those because I imagine there'll be a few opportunities with all the attention that Cam Thomas is attracting. It's Murphy on the outside. Boston. And now Missy. I don't know how there wasn't a foul called there because Johnson basically wrapped him up. But the referees just didn't raise an eyelid. Oh, Clax, mate. That is too easy. Open 3 in transition for Murphy. It's off, and it's going to be off the Pelicans. But my goodness, Clax is needing to be more alert there because that was an easy layup. He'd done the right things in terms of rolling, but great pocket pass there by Johnson as well. Claxton was, well, he spent it before he had it. So pretty lucky we didn't give away fast break points off turnovers, which has been a couple of areas we've been dominated in. Javonte Green misses the lay, but the second chance points, I'll tell you what, or the second chance opportunities in this game, well in favor of the Pelicans. Schroeder fakes. Williams had a bit of space. Reverse. He's fouled again. That's great proactivity there by Z. Saw an opening. Took it inside. Numbers collapsed. And you were always going to have a bit of a rash contest in there by someone. So free throws here for Zaire with the score the way of the Pelicans. Yet a very narrow margin. Now it looks like we're going to get some subs early on here in this third quarter with CJ in the background exiting the game. So Zaire makes the first. So one more free throw to be lined up here by Zaire. Wilson is in the game. Williams is shooting the free throw, and the second free throw is good as well. So he's perfect. Has been perfect on his 2 trips to the free throw line. It's 70-69, 7.5 to play. Wilson contesting the man pretty high up and being physical here. He's now guarding Ingram. Good double there by Williams and Wilson. But the Pels! Beautiful crank there by Boston. That's I believe, his first bucket of the game. And the Pelicans lead again by 1. And we're going to time out. Thomas didn't even bother. He knew he was going to be on the front cover of the magazine. If he even tried to commit maybe 50%. Anyway, the timeout is called at 71-70. And I'd love to get a look here at lead changes and ties. It doesn't say, though, which is a bit disappointing because it would have been great for the narrative. If we are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new as well. We'll be back for Nets, Knicks, not quite Nets, Celtics. We're going to probably do a video instead of a stream. And I'll tell you what, Ben's making it, or giving me a pretty good reason to do a little analysis piece on his first half, because all he knew was assists. So, box score check. Johnson has 13. He has done nothing else, but also he's committed a turnover, and that's the first turnover he's committed in 7 games. You have to go back weeks to see footage of CJ turning the ball over. It's that rare. But he's had a really good game today. Another hyper-efficient match. 7 shots to make 13 points. Or to have 13 points. Zaire's got 10 points. And even Claxton, who only had a couple of buckets at the break, has scored 6. Which is good. Ingram has not scored in the quarter. However, 3 assists. So even though we're forcing the ball out of his hands, we're not doing a great job of recovering defensively. Because there's been quite a few open looks on offer. And naturally that's going to happen, but you got to try recover. Missy's got 13 and 7, which I expect. Boston's got 7 dimes. He could be in double figures for rebounds and assists, which is a bit unorthodox, but it's probably what they call the Draymond Green stat line. Ben has 10 assists in 12 minutes. And I would assume he's probably going to enter the game very, very shortly because he only did good things. Only did good things for us. Okay. So, 7:15 to play. The Nets entering today, as you can see on the screen, 7th. Equals 7th. The Nets get into a set now. Thomas really has been a no-show, and that's credit to the Pelicans, man. They've made life incredibly difficult for him, as right on cue, he nearly lost the ball out of bounds. Zaire was able to sweep it up, though. He drives it in. Beautiful pirouette. Oh, God, he didn't even hit the rim, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Beautiful move, but the layup attempt was a little bit messy, and that's not what you want out of the timeout, so I don't imagine that was what was drawn up. And with that occurring, Ben Simmons walks to the scorer's table. So we could be seeing some more beauty on the offensive end. Kickstarted by Ben Simmons. Let's see. Ingram. Schroeder swept up from behind, but wasn't able to pickpocket. And now Ingram in the corner over Thomas. It's an air ball. Good contest by CT. And now Schroeder will push the pace. Cross, drives inside. Claxton, the kick out to Wilson in the corner. The kick out again. Williams steps into a three. The hop, it's off. Claxton surely was held, and they're not going to call it. So, good look for Z. Surely we've got a foul there, and it's going to be on Wilson. The take foul as Ingram was driving to the rim. So we're going to see a sub here, and it's going to be Ben checking in for Schroeder. And I believe Ingram is either inbounding or going to the bench. No, he's inbounding. So here's Boston. And now Ingram, the switch. The blitz, that is a rogue pass. Excuse me. And that's where the blitz is effective. If you can force a turnover, a rogue sort of pass flung into the second row because you double him on that pick and roll action, that's where you're seeing success in forcing the ball out of his hands. Thomas passes to Claxton, shoots with the left, didn't get a foul. Very, very late whistle though, because it was basically on the perimeter when the foul was called. A couple passes later, they're going to call a couple of free throws here for Claxton. Let's have a look. Oh, that is such a foul. How did they not see that? He got absolutely smacked up on that elbow. That had to be shots. That's undisputed. So Claxton, perfect on his first trip. He usually balances it out with two misses. And there's the first miss. So with the make, he can make things all square at 71. Clax has got 10 in the game. He's got a couple of blocks and 4 rebounds. The second free throw is good. So 3 of 4 today in his trips to the free throw line. Boston will bring it up. The nets of Thomas, Wilson, Claxton, Zaire, Williams, and Ben on the floor. Zaire nearly got the steal, and then he knocked it away from Ingram, but we got a foul. So a bit aggressive there, a bit too aggressive, but I like the tenacity there by Z. And it's going to be the Nets defending again. Clock reset at 14 for the Pels, or maybe that was just the situation. Here's Ingram, going to inbound over the outstretched arms of Williams, and they just lost it out of bounds. That's good pressure on the ball by Zaire Williams, and equally Wilson off the ball. Quite physical. And a turnover, so the Nets can take the lead. It's Ben who will drive it in himself, and then for some reason stop at 6 feet from the basket. He kicks it out to Williams, and now Wilson. Ben surely needs to call for it again. Screen by Cam Thomas, or on Cam Thomas. A couple screens by Ben. That's a shocking shot by Cam Thomas. That's where you need to see Ben just go up with the left hand. Missy takes it down the middle, and the throwdown. He didn't give a shit that Ben was in the way. He just blew right past him. That's the mentality we need from Ben. Picks up his dribble now, Ben. Hand off to Wilson. Ben will get it back on the wing. The switch. Claxton's open under the basket. Body bump. And he got swatted at the rim. Jesus. Goes again and scores with the left hand. That is tough. Goodness me. You're seeing brilliance on both ends there, the defense and the offense. But I'm liking the aggression from Clax here in the second half because it was not there in the first half. A turnover for Ingram. Ben with the steal. It's a 4-on-2. And he's just passed it to no one. He passed it through the legs. He tried to make things box office. And instead, he's made things box office for the other team. He passed it through the legs to a Pelicans player. That is just ridiculous. Oh my God. I see the vision, but fam, what are you doing? You had open passes, and now we've got another turnover. Bit turnover prone. Ben just got completely removed from the play. They didn't call a foul, and I thought I heard a whistle, but the Nets are going to let this run and see what they can do. Johnson squared waiting at the scorer's table to come in. Ben on the outside. Claxton gets it here. Thomas had his possession knocked away. Ben, shoot the ball! Shoot the ball! Oh my God. Why did he just... Goodness me. This is a mess of a... Oh my God. This is just a mess of the last couple of minutes for the Nets. A couple free throws here for the Pelicans, but just need a bit of composure. Goodness me. Just turnovers left, right, and center. Ben Simmons is putting up mid-range shots. This quarter has it all. And I forgot to start the clock, so we're at 3 minutes and 6 seconds. So both teams in the bonus now. And that's... The free throw line is where players will be sent if there are any fouls the rest of the third quarter. Free throw for Noel is good. It's up to 5. And the Johnsons will check in. Claxton will head out. And I don't know who else is checking out. Wait, so Williams, Claxton, and Thomas? Yeah, Thomas is out as well. Clowney's in, Johnson's in, Johnson's in. Both free throws converted. And now, with 3 minutes left, the Nets find themselves down 6. Ben's going to get into it quickly. Fling it to the corner for Wilson. Moves through, lost the ball. Oh my God, the Nets have turned it over again. We are prone to turnovers in the last 3 minutes. We can't do anything but turn the ball over, and Daniel Tice knocks one in off the window from 5 feet out. It's an 8-0 run, and I don't think we've had a shot in the last 90 seconds. Ben's got to do a better job here of looking after the ball. Nearly lost the ball again. Ball nearly got away. He shoots the hook shot, and it goes down. So you love that from Ben. That looks so dodgy. Very clunky, but it doesn't matter how you do it. They all count the same. It's a 6-point lead. Screen. We went under the screen. They were short on the 3, though. It was wide open. It's Ben bringing it up. Drive it, mate. Drive it. You've got the size. And he lost the ball. He just moves so, he moves so slow. The way he moves, now the way he moves correlates with how big he is. In his earlier years, the way he moved did not correlate with how big he was. He moved like a freight train. Whereas now he just moves like he moves like a Valanciunas or some shit. But that said, he turns on the burners in the backcourt, and then he reaches the key and he just slows right down. I don't know why. Defenders will not be able to do anything if you just bully your way to the rim. Nice layout. Cheers, man. Appreciate it. This is the new setup for this year, so put a bit of work into it. So good to see that it's a good look. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to show your support on it, drop a like, and share it around as well. Because there's a lot of Nets people. There's a lot of people in Nets world, so we want to get as many here as possible. Box score would suggest that, third quarter, it's been a bit dodgy on the turnover side of things. We've doubled that number in 1 quarter. Even though we're hitting shots at a pretty good rate from 3, getting to the free throw line, it's those turnovers which are just stitching us up. And that's what you can't afford to do against a team who probably don't have the offensive acumen to win games of basketball. You're just gifting them 3 points. They've only hit 8 threes on the game. They're shooting the ball pretty well, even though they haven't made free throws. We haven't really made them earn it. Ingram's had 4 assists in the quarter. He had 22 points in the first half. and he's been forced to facilitate a little bit more. Probably not forcing as many turnovers as I would like. And that sort of gets amplified when you're turning the ball over a ton yourself. Anyway. So 2 minutes to play here in this third quarter. We are up, or down, sorry, by 6. And it's sort of mental because we've gone toe-to-toe with the Celtics and the Cavaliers, yet we're in a worse position against the Pelicans. Such is life in the NBA. Every single time, you can't predict anything. It's not easy to anticipate. And that's why you don't gamble, ladies and gents. That's why you don't gamble. All right. So, the Pelicans will get into a set here. 3 by Murphy. That's a pretty odd attempt out of the timeout. It was well short. And the Nets can trim this deficit down a little bit here. Let's try get it within like 2 or less. Simmons, the handoff to Keon Johnson on the wing. Step back 3. That is a bit bold. It didn't look too bad on release, but low percentage. There's probably a lot more that's better that you can look for. I don't know how we didn't get a steal there. Noel goes up, misses, rebound by Clowney. Ben's got to push it. And it looks like he's gestured to slow things down, which is exactly what you don't want to do, Ben. Good skip pass to Clowney on the catch. It's good. There it is. 57 to play in this third quarter. The lead is 3 for the Pelicans. That 3 by Clowney sliced the deficit in half. That was knocked away. But the Pelicans still have it, as has been the case on many occasions today. Tice, backdoor cut by Alexander Earl. Oh my God. It's Robinson Earl, by the way. I don't know where I got Alexander from. With 1 second left, we committed a foul after giving away an offensive rebound. Yet again, that tells you all you need to know about how this game has gone today. It's been a case of us playing defense 85% of the time. We haven't followed up for that, like, the second effort that's required to complete the defensive stop. Like, we may get a deflection, but we just give away a 3 or something like that. That's not always our fault, but anyway. 82-78. Free throw to come here for Robinson Earl. And it goes down. So 5-point game. And we're going to have to move this pretty quick in order to get the 2 for 1. It's Ben. Drives it in. Wilson the 3. Yes! 2 for 1. Executed to perfection. 29 seconds left. 5-second difference between shot and game. If we can get a stop and then somehow score to close out the quarter, it would be an absolute dream. But it could be a pipe dream. Noel, drive, gets inside, no look! That's disgusting. And the two-handed flush there by Tice. So let's see what we get. 9 seconds to get one up. Ben takes it inside to the corner for Wilson. Tough 3. Never going to work. And that's going to be 3-quarter time. 85-81. The lead increases by 2 from the half to now. And the Pelicans scored 29 in that quarter to the Nets 27. So this game is well and truly up for grabs. The Pelicans have lost 4 in a row. Or 5 in a row. Lost 4 or 5 in a row. Yeah. And the Nets, well, they've lost a couple in a row as well. But it looks like we're going to get... Look, I think we win this game if we can crack 30 points here in this last quarter. We haven't hit 110 since the Bulls game 4 or 5 games ago. So We're 29 points away from that. We've been pretty consistent with our scoring in the first few quarters, but let's have a 30-point quarter and end this one on a high, surely. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you're notified of when I go live next, which will be against the Knicks for the first NBA Cup game in 4 days. We're not doing the Celtics game, which is the next game for the Nets. So, if this season has been an indication of anything, it's that every bloody game is a close game. So you don't want to miss it. And we'll be covering as many games as humanly possible. I will have some content coming out, though, or plan on having some content coming out for the Nets. And it could be a range of different things. But I don't imagine I'll keep it too long. I'll maybe do like a 5 or 6 minute video type thing. Yeah, just trying to experiment a little bit more with the bite-sized content as well, which is pretty easily consumable. If we look at the box score, it's a pretty balanced output. We've got a rebound for Johnson to add. He scored 13, and he's actually our high man with Claxton, who scored 9 in the quarter. Yet Cam Thomas has only got 7 points in the whole game off the back of him only having taken 6 shots, which is just not enough. No net has had more than 10 shots. No net is in double figures for shots, which is just mental to me at this stage of the game. Clax has had 9. Zaires had 9. And that's our top 2 players. That's absolutely cooked. But we're underway here for this last quarter. The Yes Network sort of sprung it on me because they didn't have it up for a while. Tice tries to hit it down low. Body bump by Murphy. Who gets the board? The Pelicans get the board, and it's a 3. You idiots. Mate, they're undersized under the basket, and you still couldn't get a rebound. You're getting out-hustled. You're not going to win a game if you're getting out-hustled. And we've got a lot of length on the court as well. Between Johnson, Claxton, and Clowney, who's going to shoot a 3 right on cue and he misses. Like, we forced a stop. Like, the second chance points have just been out of hand today. That's an easy dump off for Tice, but he's bloody missed the push shot from about 6 feet away, and the Nets catch a lucky break. Schroeder has a lot of space there. Didn't shoot the 3 first time. Hesitated there. Clowney's relocated to the corner again and lost his man, and he hits this time. He's been really good this season at losing his man on those 3-point attempts. And it's so crazy because the opposition, they never follow him. They never track him. It's crazy. That's an easy move by Murphy. Good drive and Euro, and he gets it back up to 6. There was no resistance on that play either, so we've got a few subs waiting on the side there for New Orleans. Schroeder with the scoop. Brilliant stuff there by Dennis. I don't think he's been nearly assertive enough today with that scoop shot. Usually works quite well. Murphy on the outside. Drive on Claxton. Step back 2 in the mid-range. That's off. Oh my God. What are you clowns doing, bro? Another tip in 2. But I think there's a foul beforehand. Oh, we are so lucky. We are so lucky because yet again, Clowney, mate. Oh my God. 4 plays under the basket. And the one man responsible for guarding out the big man on a box out couldn't actually box out. And we just give away an easy 2. But luckily, it's not going to count. It was actually chalked off. There was a foul beforehand. So we're very lucky. The Pelicans are going to trigger in from the side and they'll play through Alvarado here. Use a screen and now the switch. It's Johnson guarding Alvarado. Picks up his dribble and sends it to Boston only to get it back. Alvarado is going to shoot a sidestepping 3. It's badly off, but guess who's chasing it up? The Pelicans, and they've got an open look. Get past the closeout. The 2's off, but where's the box out? Nowhere to be found again. And another 2. Mate, the offensive rebounding for the Pels has just been through the roof. And they're supposed to be short-handed. Schroeder's three is good. Nice response from top of the key. But, mate, you're not winning a game of basketball if you can't back up forcing misses with getting rebounds. It's really that simple. You don't need to be that good as a center. You just need to be present to get these offensive rebounds. It doesn't matter who they've got out there. I don't even know the bloke's name. Good D by Johnson, though. Boston tries to shake him off, and he's short on the shot, and the Nets get the long rebound. Finally, we rebound it. Schroeder, the pass to Johnson. Back to Schroeder. He's guarded by Boston. The drive, spin move, step back two, and he's fouled, and then got stood over accidentally. And Schroeder will shoot a couple here. That was a bailout of sorts because it wasn't a very high percentage shot, but it don't matter. So 2 free throws here at the 8:50 mark for Dennis. And it rims out. Brilliant. So Wilson's going to check back in. 92-89 the score. Johnson will go to the bench. That's Keon Johnson. I believe Cam Johnson is still in the game. That's probably the biggest pet peeve I have watching games of basketball. It's the bloody offensive rebounding. Like, it just does my head in when teams can't box out. It's just so ridiculous. That's great full court pressure there by Dennis. Alvarado had to offload it pretty quickly. Boston is now getting well contested. That's a deep three by Alvarado, and he's airballed it. My goodness, I brought him into my fantasy team, and I reckon he's in the negatives for me right now. But he's also in the negatives for New Orleans. He's been nothing but a negative today. He's really done nothing. The ball is triggered in. Schroeder gets it across half court pretty quickly. And we're going to get into a set here with a screen set by Johnson. An off-ball screen set by Claxton to try free up Johnson. All the while Schroeder looks it to Wilson. It's off. Clowney chases it up. Well done. Open three for Schroeder. Steps into it. It's off. Claxton the board. Another look. Johnson ball fake. 3. Oh my God. We had like 4 opportunities. Mate, if the opposition is getting those opportunities, they are always scoring. And on the other end, they score a simple 2. So all that work on the offensive end to generate multiple opportunities, and you could not do anything with the advantage. Schroeder just turned the ball over. Pretty careless type stuff. Boston. Screen. The roller. What is Claxton doing, mate? Mate, that is shocking defending by Claxton. I have no idea what he was doing. He was at C. He didn't even, he blitzed after the screen was set. But then when the man rolled to the rim, he didn't rotate across to pick up the cutter. He just stood around and thought someone else was going to do it. So an easy jam has it a 6-point game with 7.5 to play here in this quarter. Giannis might be coming to Brooklyn, heard from one of my sources. I just don't know why that would happen. The Nets would, you know what? The Nets would not facilitate that. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I don't want that to happen. Because think about it like this. The Bucks, we have the Bucks pick. If they got rid of Giannis, they're probably getting rid of Dame. Even though I don't know who would want him at his age. And they wouldn't have the cap for him either. Right? So then, if the Bucks are shit, we don't get their pick. Because if they pitch in the top 4 of the lottery, then it's the Pelicans' pick and not ours. So don't allow them to do that. Or don't allow them to stuff up our chances And equally, if we got Giannis, what have we traded for all our picks back for? I just don't back it in. Like, I don't think he'd be a great fit. Or, yeah, I don't think it'd be a great fit. That said, if the Bucks pick fell to 5, that's when it becomes our pick. So that would be hilarious if we had Giannis and just got pick 5. But I don't want to do that. It's just not worth it. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again with superstars, man. Let's cultivate our own. Let's not buy them. I don't want to buy them. Let's make a homegrown sort of team. And you know what? I feel like it's not a good idea to elevate the expectations of a team having just hired a new coach. It just makes no sense. Even though Geordie's shown that he's a pretty decent coach, it just doesn't make sense. It would go completely against the hires we've made, the players we've brought in. Like, just doesn't make sense. So Thomas, Clowney, Simmons, Wilson, Zaire. We're going all length with this lineup plus Cam Thomas here. Ben to Clowney. Wilson retrieves the handoff, gets inside, picks up his dribble, needs help. It's Zaire for 3 on the wing. It's off. The board by Clowney. Try to do it all in one motion. It's off. Ben back out to Wilson. Oh my God, we got 6 to shoot. Need to put one up. Wilson the drive. It's off. Z with the follow for 2. That was the most prolonged possession of all time. But the Nets in the last few minutes have flipped the script with the offensive rebounding. They heard what I said. Ingram's back in, and that's out of bounds. Well done by Z. And Ingram is still scoreless in this second half after being on an absolute heater. Didn't look like he could miss in the first half. Now he doesn't even look like putting up a shot. And that's credit to Zaire. Good D. A lot of turnovers in the second half for Ingram as well. Thomas trying to use that Clowney screen. Thomas gets inside. Step back 3. Ridiculous. I don't know how he's made that. And usually I say those words when Thomas makes a bucket because it's some of the worst shot selection, but it works in that scenario. That's good D by Clowney on the rollover. Ben gets the rebound. We're going to push the pace, and he nearly lost the ball, and then he did lose the ball. Why is he trying to be so fancy? He gets back, though, and an easy 2 for the Pelicans. It's just Ben in the first half was so good looking after the ball. He hadn't turned the ball over once. And he had 10 assists. And now he's trying to do all this fancy shit. Clowney, there was an open man in the corner. Wilson, instead Clowney went himself with the push shot and hit back iron. So could have gone one of 2 ways. I think it was the right play by Noah. Ingram on the outside is 1-on-1 with Zaire Williams. He's going to go inside, moves through, the kick out to Robinson Earl, the pull up 2 on the baseline, it's off. And a rebound for the Nets, 98-95. Just a little bit over halfway in this quarter. I swear that was a travel. Wilson, kick out to Clowney. He's been open in that corner all game long. He hits the 3, ties the game at 98. We've got a little over 5 minutes to play. He's been a sniper. Mixed bag of results, but I think he's really done well here. He's sort of normalized over the last, more so in this second half, because I think he was like 2 of 6 or something in the first half. We'll get a look at his stats now. He'd almost be the top scorer for the Nets. What's he got? He's got 15 points. Noah Clowney is the top scorer for the Nets. That is mental to me. He's got 15 and 6. He's hit 5 threes. He's had a couple offensive rebounds here in this second half. Yeah. On a list of things noted on my bingo card for today, Clowney leading the team in scoring was not one of them. I'll tell you what, though, we could be on the cards for every single net reaching double figures. But granted, Ben is not going to do that. Ben's not going to hit 10 points, I don't think. So we're all square. We have basically been in this position half the game today. Ingram has been well held in the second half. I don't think he had turned the ball over going into the main break. And here he is with 4 turnovers in the second half and hasn't scored. He's only got the 4 assists to show for his efforts. Robinson Earl's been a really pleasant surprise, and Trey Murphy has put up a lot of shots in his first game back. But I think they did say pre-game Trey Murphy was only playing 20 minutes, which means he would not be playing down the stretch. So we could be on here. Missy has a double-double, and Boston has 10 assists. He's been good. I'm really intrigued to see this closing group. Ben's only played 8 minutes in this second half. I wouldn't be surprised if he closes out because of that bullshit Claxton effort before the timeout a few minutes back. Like, he deserved to be sent to the bench and just not come back on. It was pretty poor. Alrighty. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new as well. We'll be back for Nets Knicks, the NBA Cup matchup on the weekend, but we won't be here for Nets Boston. Alrighty. So I don't really know. Look, I think the method for winning today is just keep doing what you're doing. Don't keep the ball glued into someone's hands. We've got 7 plays in double figures already, and we haven't even scored 100 points. That's pretty hard to do. Usually you're scoring 120 for that to happen. Anyway, Ingram has to fight for the ball whilst guarded by Zaire as he gets it fed to him. Noah, good defense. Oh, mate, I would almost challenge that. And Geordie is not even going to hesitate. He has not even given it, like, the foul any time to breathe. Let's have a look. Oh, that is a block. That is such a block. Let's have a look. Oh, that is not a foul. That is not a foul. That is a great challenge there by Geordie. That's a great challenge. I reckon we have a good chance of winning this challenge as well. Because Clowney and Zaire both went up. Both of them got a piece of the ball. I feel like the contact was pretty marginal. That should be... Well, it's not even going to be our ball, but in hindsight, I mean, it's going to save us a couple of points here because Ingram would have been going to the free throw line otherwise. So we have another game down to the wire, ladies and gents. Alrighty. So the score tied at 98. Let's have a look. Bro, Clowney has not fouled him. They called the foul on Clowney. That is not a foul on Clowney. There's nothing there. You could probably ping it on Zaire beforehand, but Clowney's done sweet fuck all. He's done nothing. Everyone's got eyes on the big screen, but no one will have the actual answer until these referees say what it is. So they're getting multiple opinions here. Now, in the meantime, bro, there's nothing on him. There's just no way they call that a foul. That's not even my bias kicking in. That objectively doesn't look like a foul. Although, what do I know? And what do the fans know, really? Goodness me. So, 5 minutes to play. Oh my, yeah, that's what I thought. So, Clowney did not foul him, but Zaire did. It's still going to be 2 shots, isn't it? Wait, so they're still getting free throws, but we retain the timeout and we retain the challenge. So we can use the challenge again, but we actually didn't gain anything from the challenge. So it's going to be 2 shots. I just love those scenarios where you win, but you don't. So the Pels have the opportunity to crack 100 here, and Ingram has the opportunity to score his first points of the whole half. He had 22 in the first half. That free throw made there was his first make. His first point, the second half. And that one goes down, the lucky bastard. All right. 5 minutes to play. Pels up 2. Ben, Zaire, Clowney, Wilson, Thomas. The 5 on the floor. Pretty youthful lineup here. Rounded out by Ben Simmons. Thomas is an open 3. That's a great play. Draw up. And he knocks down the open 3. The decoy was set off the ball. And Thomas, well, he was the beneficiary. He lost his man and it was an open 3. 101-100. And the Nets lead by 1. This is the place you want to be. Clowney's picking up Boston on the perimeter. Good bit of length there. Clowney doubles with Zaire on Ingram. They're forced into a pass. They got 1 to shoot. It's a deep 3. It's a prayer. Oh my God. How has he hit that? He shot the ball like dog shit all game. That was his second make on like 10 tries. How has he hit that shot? We defended that so well. Oh my God. You are kidding me. Clowney at the elbow. Thomas got dumped off the ball and it's going to be the Nets on the side. That is ridiculous. You are kidding. How have they made that? Oh my God. That's a joke. Off balance or step back 3 from like 6 feet behind the line. That's rubbish. That is so rubbish. So 103-101. Claxton's back in, interestingly enough. For Ben, and Zaire just lost the ball. They get it ahead, a turnover, an easy dunk. And that's not going to prompt a timeout. So Boston with the last 5. And the Pelicans lead by 4. Johnson's still on the bench. I don't know who's going to be taken off here. That's a really ropes pass. And Claxton just threw it out of bounds. So 3:16 to play. And things have gone a little bit pear-shaped in the last 35 to 40 seconds of game time. So we're, about a minute or 2 ago, I said, this is the place you want to be. And then they hit some bullshit from the outside. So let's see what this team has got. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Knicks in 4 days. Not the Nets Celtics game in a couple days. So yeah, that is the situation. But yeah, another close game. What a damn surprise that is. Okay. So, amazingly enough, for the Nets, the high man today, points-wise, is Noah Clowney with 15. No other net has more. And, well, they're going to need to see some contribution late from your main men. Thomas, Schroeder, Johnson are probably the big three that you're looking for. I'm really confused as to why Ben is on the bench. I think he's been more of a factor than Claxton. That said, the second half, he's sort of been a little bit dodgy with the turnovers, and that's not what we can really afford right now. It's Boston on the outside, getting some attention. Ingram is going to step into a three, and it looked good, but it was off, and Thomas gets the rebound, gets it ahead to Johnson. I don't know if he was ready for it, but it's back in the hands of Thomas here. And he's going to be forced into a pass, you'd imagine. Looking. Oh my God, Clax. What the fuck? We are so lucky. He missed the reverse. Claxton was there defensively. It's a 5-on-4 now. And Thomas is going to shoot a three instead of exploit the mismatch. Zaire with a three. That's off as well. I don't know why we didn't drive it in and just exploit the mismatch so you get an open look in the corner. Instead, like, step back threes, man. Really? Ingram? Good D by Zaire. He stayed right with him. Ingram has nowhere to go. It's a step back two, and he doesn't get the bounce there either. They're leaving us in the game. Schroeder. Oh my God, he nearly lost the ball. That was so cheap if he did. He's going to use that screen. He gets inside. Open look. It's Cam Johnson. And in the last 2 minutes, Cam Johnson has to be like 20% in his career from the outside. I mean, he is just beautiful for missing shots down the stretch. Ingram picks up his dribble. Boston, guarded by Zaire, but that means Ingram is picked up by Thomas, which is no good. The double arrives. Numbers roll over. It's Boston who's open. It's off. Get the board. Go! Oh my God. Numbers just don't look like they want to get forward. Johnson goes baseline. Body bump. Gets it to go. Where's the fucking foul? 2-point game. Murphy's back in. 1 minute to play. We've got a 2-0 run in the last 11 seconds, according to Yes. That's helpful. So Murphy, screen. I keep calling him Jones. They look the same. Oh God, that's great D by Zaire. Lost the ball in Murphy. Put one up. It's off. Box out. Schroeder saves it. 2 for 1. Great defense by the Nets. We can tie or take the lead. Oh, Thomas nearly had that pass conveyed to him. Oh my God, it's a step back three. Get in! Get in! CT! God! Step back three! Don't mess with him! Goodness me, this is just too roller coaster for my liking. Why the hell do we have to go through this shit? Oh my God. Step back three was delicious, but the defense by Zaire on Trey Murphy was a sight to behold. I thought that Schroeder had just allowed the most easiest of second chance points there on the glass, but luckily it rimmed out, and then Thomas, the step back three over Javonte Green. It don't matter if there's a hand in the face or not. We've got a bucket, we've got a 2 for 1 execution, we've got it all, and we also, most importantly, have the lead. It's a 1-point game, but you know the Nets' luck. You know the Nets' luck. They're going to give away a 3 or some bullshit. As the way the game has gone today, this is second chance points written all over it, for sure. And that's got to be the point of emphasis here for the Nets. When you are playing defense, not only do you have to force the tough shot, not only are you forcing the tough shot, but you need to sprint to the paint the minute that shot gets put up to put a body on and just make life as difficult as possible. Don't allow the run and jump. Don't allow them to get in the restricted area. 32.5 to play. The Pels will inbound and they'll look for Ingram immediately. He's picked up by Williams. The screen will arrive by Murphy. One-on-one, Ingram. D'd up by Zaire. It's a good bit of defense. And Zaire forces the miss. Claxton with the board. And we're going to get a timeout. And interestingly enough, the Pelicans did not foul. Claxton had the ball for a good 3 or 4 seconds. And nothing was done. They didn't foul him. And Geordie called a timeout and bailed us out. So 20 seconds left. The Nets are going to need to get this ball inbounded. They actually exhausted a timeout to trigger the ball in from the side, which is smart. But Zaire Williams, great defense. Great defense. He's assumed a responsibility that Finney Smith would otherwise have. And he was able to force a miss. Ingram has been crap. I don't think he's made a field goal in this second half. Or maybe he's made a bucket or two. But he had 22 in the first half, and he wouldn't even be close to 30 right now. So the Nets, with the ball, up 1. The game is not out of reach for the Pelicans here. The Nets have got to make free throws and then force another miss. The job is not done. If they're feeling like tanking, they'll brick both free throws, and they'll pass it to Claxton off the inbound. So 106-105, we've got, well, Claxton's not on the court. It's Johnson inbounding to one of Wilson, Schroeder, Thomas, or Williams. But we have been prone to turning the ball over today. The Pels are being gritty. So we've got to get this one in. We do have a timeout in hand, though. Let's see what we got. Johnson looking for the man. Screen. Oh, beautiful pass to Schroeder. And he's fouled. They thought that ball was going to go to Thomas, and to be fair, it probably was. But that opened up a very wide open pass towards Dennis Schroeder, who actually missed the first. That said, though, they had a foul to give. So we're going to have to do it again. And this time, Thomas has it brought in to him. Oh my God, they took way too long there calling a foul. The referees weren't afraid to let it run, really. It could have actually, if Thomas wasn't careful, like he definitely traveled if there wasn't, or like, depends when they deem the foul to be, but Thomas at the free throw line, he is 91% this season, which means he's probably going to miss one. And he does! What a surprise! What a surprise! Mate, oh my God. Free throws, man. 91% in his career, or in the season, but percentages doesn't matter when you've got to deal with pressure. We make 1 of 2, and that means we can lose this game. And how funny would that be? That would be the most Nets thing to do, yet it would be absolutely brilliant for the tank, I tell you what. Just another game lost in the last minute. So if you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back in 4 days. But the situation as it stands, we're up 2. We don't have the ball. There's 15 seconds left. The Pelicans did hit a bullshit shot before. I don't know what their second chance points are tonight, but that could come into play here with an offensive rebounding opportunity. The way they've rebounded and crashed the glass. They're going to look for Ingram, though, because he scored 22. They have had some perimeter threat today, though. But look, I mean, as I said, I'm not complaining if we win or lose because we've competed again today. But given the position we're in right now, I would just love a win. I really wouldn't want to lose to the injury-depleted Pelicans who are missing like 4 starters, bro. It's just so strange. How do we get into this muddle with the Pelicans and we competed against Boston and Cleveland the way we did? Alrighty. So up 2, Thomas is on the court playing defense, so they back him in. Schroeder, Williams, Johnson, and Claxton, the starting 5 for tonight. That's the group. For the Pelicans, they've got I keep saying Jones, bro. Murphy, Boston's inbounding, Green, Noel, and someone else. Ooh. Claxton, with that wingspan, was able to fling it right back out of bounds. So the Pels never got it in. Although I don't think they got into their set, so we may not be able to anticipate what they had drawn up. And they've also got no timeouts left, so they wouldn't have been able to call it. Call another timeout. Here we go. They get it into the backcourt. It's a risky one. Ingram's going to have to fetch it. Cross. Gets inside. Zaire does well. Oh no, it's an open 3. Get out. Rebound. Yes. Oh my God. You are not serious. 4.2 seconds left. We had the rebound. We didn't call a timeout. We wanted the foul. Oh my God. Oh my God. They have a chance. They have a chance still. I cannot believe this. 4 seconds left. It's going to be Thomas in a jump ball with Boston. They're going to get Missy into the game, so it looks like they're going to try find the 2. The Nets still have a timeout. Not that it's really relevant. Well, it is. If the Nets get a ball, just call a timeout, bro. Either way, it's Boston and Thomas in a jump ball. The Nets up 2, 4 seconds left. Here we go. Jump ball, 1, by I don't know who. Oh my God. We have a timeout and we have a challenge. Bro, mate. So it's just too frantic for me to keep up with. 2.5 seconds on the clock. The jump ball was not definitively won by anyone. Then the ball got knocked out of bounds. I'm pretty sure that's off Zaire. The ball got knocked off. Ooh. It could be the Pels, actually. Missy. So yeah, Thomas and Boston, neither of them win the jump ball. It goes off Zaire and Missy. But I think it goes off Missy. 2.5 seconds left. They called it on the Pelicans, but the Nets had a timeout remaining. And they also had a challenge remaining, which they won before, so they retained their challenge. And the Pels, it's a second successful challenge for Geordie. The Nets are going to win this challenge. They're going to win the ball. They've lost their timeout, though. So I don't... Well, the problem is we're under their basket. So we have to make sure that we don't turn this over. Actually, I don't know if they've won it. I don't think that's confirmed. Let's have a look. Oh, bro, it's so our ball. It's just so our ball. This should not have even been remotely challengeable. It should have just been decided like that. It's so clearly our ball. So, yeah, it's got to be our ball. It's just got to be our ball. If it's not our ball, I'm just going to leave. And all the Nets players are gesturing, it's going that way. Give us the ball. So, that was, well, thank God that Geordie won the challenge, man, before. Because that could have been really bad. And even though we gave away free throws, because the foul was deemed to be on someone else in that scenario, we still won the challenge. Because the foul in that scenario was called on Clowney. but then they changed it to Williams. So we won, but we lost. So we're going to win the ball back, but it's in their front court. It's in their half. So we're just going to have to get the ball in with 2.5 seconds and not turn the ball over. And just hope 2.5 seconds elapse. No team has a timeout remaining. The Nets are up by 2. This has been such a prolonged break. And Claxton will not take to the court, you would imagine, because he's a liability on free throws. But even still, the only way the Pelicans can win here is if they force a turnover off the inbounds. Why are they still looking at this, bro? It's so clear. Oh my God. These refs have been so inadequate. Mate, they're actually having a laugh. Let's have a look. It's got to be our ball. Here we go. Yes! Yes! 2 of 2 for challenges by Geordie. They're going to add 0.2 of a second and make it 2.7. And now, all the Nets need to do is bring the basketball into the field of play. Now, looks like Ben has taken off the warm-up, so that would tell me he's inbounding, but he's also prone to just throwing some fucking bullshit passes. He's prone to making the flashy pass, but we don't need the flashy pass right now. We need to make the simple pass, Ben. Make the simple pass, unless you're feeling like tanking. Unless you're feeling like a tank, well then, you know, we should be fine here. This final minute has just taken so long. The Nets up 2. Simmons will inbound the ball. Schroeder's in with Wilson, Thomas, Johnson, I believe. Yes. So, actually, we advance it. So really, all you need to do is just get the ball inbounded. That's it. It's in our half. We advance the ball. They got 3 seconds without a timeout to do something. Just get it in. Get it in. Get it in. Open side. Oh my God, we went into the backcourt. We're going to win. Yes! Oh my God, that was so not worth it. I thought Ben had fucked up the pass and it was just an open runway for a Pelicans player to score a 2. But that's it. We win. We've won. We've won. We've won. Whew. We've won. 107-105 the final. Dennis ran out the clock. Thank God for that. Whew. Wish the Pels had a chance to foul. We could have been up by 3. Yeah, true that. But overall, we're done. We've won. It's happy days. The win is secured. The Pels are on a 5-game slide. The Nets win. And out of all the games on paper in the next 10 that you probably anticipated us to win, it would be this one and the Pistons game, and that's about it, really. The Nets wind up in the last quarter scoring, I'm doing the math, 81 we were, and we scored 26 in the period. The Pels only scored 20, so a very good last quarter performance by the Nets. Second game in a row, we've held a team under 50 points in the second half. That's the quality effort. Quality effort. We'll go to the box score, and then we'll wrap things up pretty promptly. If you're leaving now, make sure to drop a like on the way out. And we will be back for Nets Knicks, the first NBA Cup game on the weekend. We're not doing the Nets Boston game. You will see a very, very brilliant box score here because nearly every single player that played was in double figures, which is just mental to me. Mental. I don't know where Ben Simmons' name is I may be blind. Yeah, they've doubled up on Claxton, which is sort of nuts. Ben did not score in double figures, and that's disrespectful to not put Ben's name on the box score because he played a bloody good game today. He had 10 first half assists. Cam Johnson ends with 15 and basically nothing else. He got a steal and a block, which is a pretty good showing by him. He hit 3 threes. Cam Thomas hit 4 threes. And look, this was a very weird performance for CT because he only had 10 shots in the whole game. He hit 4 of 5 from 3, though, and he actually was the high man for the Nets with 17. He closed it out for us with a big step back 3 with a couple minutes left for us to retake the lead. Claxton had 13 and 9. His best quarter was the third quarter, and he did basically nothing outside of that. Schroeder with 14, a very subtle 14 as well, on only 9 shots again. And Zaire had a pretty interesting sort of game. I think his game will more go down in the record books for the defense he played. 12 points, 9 rebounds, and great second half defense on Ingram. I think that is the big takeaway. If we could stop Ingram, we could stop the Pelicans. And in the second half, Ingram only scored 2 points and they were off 2 free throws. He did not score a field goal in the second half. He went 0 of 5. And you compare that to the first half where he took 19 shots. That's a credit to the defensive scheme that we played to stop Brandon Ingram and stop them from winning the game. Alvarado went down to the locker room, so that's why he played only the 18 minutes, and they had to draw upon the minutes from elsewhere. But overall, a pretty good team performance in the sense that we had 7 players in double figures, and now you can see the box score update. Ben Simmons, 6 points, 12 dimes, turnover prone in the second half, much like many of them. We had 16 turnovers in the match, and that's what kept the Pelicans alive. And with more opportunities, they had 10 more shots than us, but we hit 19 three-pointers and hit more free throws. So that's where we got the separation, despite having 6 less makes from the field. Noah Clowney with 5 threes as well, 15 and 7. I think that's a really good sign for him. That is what I'm highlighting right now. In only the 20 minutes too, so he was getting a lot of looks open on the weak side corner, and he was knocking them down on the far side. So that was lovely to see. And lovely to see a lot of the key Nets players, even though they weren't putting up shots in high volume, they were making a lot of their shots. Even though we shot quite a ways under 50%. So to hit 19 threes in a game where you only score 107, that's a massive, massive figure. Overall, though, pretty happy with the win. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you have any comments, and then I'll head off because it'll be a few days until you see me again. But if you have any post-game thoughts, let us know. Nice to see Clowney taking more shots. Need to see more minutes. Yeah, I feel like that could be, like, I don't know. It's very on and off with him. Obviously, a sophomore, and, you know, 3-point shooting is pretty inconsistent with him. It has been all season, where I think he was shooting the ball at 32%, not from 3, from the field. So to see him score 5 threes on 50%, 10 shots, that's pretty good. He actually took the most shots out of any net today. So he was making him count, and he was a pretty key part of why we won the game today with all those 3-pointers that we've just said, making 19 to be exact. When one player is scoring 5, they have a pretty large bearing on whether you win the game or not. So another win, and yet again, I will note this, right? We haven't scored over 110 in since the Bulls game. But I'm pretty sure it's been since the Bulls game that we haven't conceded over 110. In the last 5 games, we've conceded 106, 104, 108 in overtime, 105, and then 105 again. So we're sort of fitting into that identity that I think at the start of the season, you probably would have looked at our team and said, this is the identity that the Nets want to play with. Not scoring an absolute crap ton, but defensively locking teams down. And And so it's been pretty good. Like, outside of the Hawks game, the Nuggets game, when we went nuts and they went nuts, and the Magic game, we've kept teams under 110 every single game. So it's defensively, we're being pretty strong. And I think we're normalizing, we're reverting to the mean offensively. Best Simmons performance so far, though, I think 100%. 100%. It was his best performance in a long time. His best performance in a very long time. And he played a fair chunk of minutes as well. I think he played 24, 25 minutes. If I can see there, 23? 22. So I think the fact that we got even contributions across the board, it sort of means that you can rotate your team a little bit more because you go a bit deeper. And you're getting equal contributions. So I think that's why Ben can sort of play 23 minutes and get away with it. And that's probably perfect for him, this sort of bite-sized gameplay. Play 5 or 6 minutes in a row, go to the bench, come back, And he actually was so important to us, our offense earlier in the game when we needed it. Because I remember start of the game, we had 2 points in 5 or 6 minutes. We had nothing on the board. Luckily, the Pelicans were shooting like crap as well, but Simmons came into the game. And in the first half, he was responsible for over half our points, scoring or assisting. So if it wasn't for Ben, I don't know where this team would have been. We probably would have lost this game and maybe only scored 90 to 95 points. So he was another key reason as to why we won the game today. But in a game like this where you have 7 players scoring double figures and the game was sort of predicated on defense, that's, you can't really nail it down to one particular individual. It was pretty well rounded. So the turnovers, though, 100%. And I feel like you can sort of fall victim to that when you're playing a shorthanded team. What they don't have in talent, they'll make up in effort, usually. So at times, we just turn the ball over pretty carelessly. I don't think we really had a sense of awareness, game awareness. Like, we didn't really know how aggressive the Pelicans were playing at times, didn't match that level. There was one sequence where, like, the one that sticks out to me, 6 minutes or 7 minutes to play, we were down 6, we had to call a timeout, but Claxton he looked like he wasn't even present on the court. And we had to call a timeout. We sent him to the bench, and then we, lo and behold, actually clawed our way back into the game. Rebounds. You'll be able to see on the box score there, but Ben had 5. Do I think Ben Simmons is a good player? Yes, if he plays. Which is always the motto with him. But I do think he can be better as well. I think there were so many opportunities for him to take it to the rim himself. And this is just, like, I just think it's not the player he is anymore. Even though he's got a lot of pace, it just feels like he doesn't have the explosiveness to get by defenders. And he does all these wacky hook shots, post moves. And it just is a bit of an eyesore. So that's why he passes it, because it just keeps the offense in flow. And sort of doesn't feed into the deficiencies that he has. So I think he's good, but he definitely has his drawbacks. That said, today he was very essential for our chances of winning. We wouldn't have won if Ben Simmons wasn't playing today. Simply put. But yeah, unless there's any other post-game comments, I will wrap this one up here. As I said, we will be back for Nets versus Knicks, which is the Mikal Bridges game, ladies and gents. It's the Mikal Bridges game. So get down here because we're going to be flaming him. No, we're not. Well, you guys can, but I probably won't. Maybe if he chucks up an air ball or he misses a couple of threes, we'll sort of talk a bit of shit, but for the most part, I think we'll keep things pretty civil. But until then, we also have a Celtics game as well. And I won't be doing that one. I'll try to do a video Maybe the Ben Simmons first half. Maybe we'll look at that a little bit. Or the Dorian Finney-Smith defense in the last couple of games, because I think that was worth a look. For his paycheck, absolutely not. His defense is good, gives out assists, but the fact that he has zero offense is telling. He's got offense, it's just not shooting. Yeah. He's really important to the offense. He just doesn't shoot. Or he shoots, but he looks very timid when he's trying to. I'm 50-50 on the tank. It's super important to build culture, and I think it starts with Geordie. We're still obviously going to need talent in this upcoming draft, 100%. I agree wholeheartedly with that. And Geordie said at the start of the year, it's about winning habits. It's about winning habits. If you don't have the winning habits, if you don't know how to win, if you instill the mindset that you're trying to lose, then you aren't winning. You're not going to win down the line, because then you're instilling the wrong habits, the winning habits that you need to win a chip. So I like this. We're 5-6, but honestly could have been like 9-2. Honestly. Or like 8-3. So a few losses in there to sort of compensate for the tank, but nearly every game we've competed. Just trade CJ and DFS and I'm good, win or loss. I'd trade DFS. CJ, I'm just a little bit... I think the... What do they call it? The jury is out on CJ at the moment, because like he actually is playing significantly better than I thought. And there was a very good comment made on Twitter today. I'll actually get it up before I leave. And it said, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges were appropriately dubbed the twins as their skill sets were somewhat duplicative, and didn't fit seamlessly together. Look at Phoenix. They didn't start together. In Brooklyn, they were too small to play the 3 and 4. At the 2 and 3, there wasn't enough creation. Nets ran into trouble trying to fit Johnson, Bridges, and CT together in the starting 5. Johnson and Bridges both play the same spot. Off-ball wings, neither can guard 4s. Johnson is thriving more as a featured offensive wing this season. And you know what? Like, he could be a very nice piece. He could be a very nice piece. Dennis plays too much, but he's the glue. I'm sort of a fan now. I'm sort of warming to the idea of just having CJ, DFS, and Schroeder. But we probably need to get rid to get better. Like, in the long run. Not now. Because, yeah, you're probably sort of... Like, I'd like to see Jalen Wilson at the 4, as opposed to a DFS. Or even today, we saw Zaire at the 4, and he sort of held his own. So, maybe that's the sort of player that we can give more minutes at the expense of DFS. Of trading DFS. CJ, as I said, is a bit more watch this space, much like Dennis, because they're very good vets to have, and you don't want to gut your roster to the point where you don't have any experience. You need that sort of hierarchy. You need some vets. Like, I'm pretty sure we don't have anyone older than like 31. So you need vets. You need vets to weigh out the youth, because we've got a lot of youth. A lot. When you just list it off, you look at this list, Thomas, Claxton, Williams, Clowney, Wilson, Johnson, and then like Martin Whitehead, all the fillers, they're all 25 and under. So you've only got Johnson, Schroeder, DFS not playing tonight, Ben Simmons, and that's it. So you get rid of like 3 of them, and then you've got no experience at all. Are you really backing in Ben Simmons to be your experience? Your only experience? And that's without including Dayron Sharp, who's not playing. Trendon Watford's not playing. They're both under 25 as well. Bogdanovic is the other one. If anything, I'd trade Bogdanovic. I think he could be a good asset for a contender. He always seems to hit some ridiculous sort of shots from the outside. So, I honestly, like, you got to be careful when you're gutting a roster. You got to keep the right guys around. And I feel like Dennis and even CJ, the way CJ talks, he sounds like a leader. He sounds like he's got a basketball brain. He sounds like he's sort of the measured head you need in a locker room that's young and has maybe quite a few players that have a bit of ego, like they feel like they're better than what they are. You need players to sort of reel them back in. And that's really valuable. So I wouldn't back Ben to do that. He doesn't seem like the type. But CJ seems a bit more articulate, and even Dennis, with some more of his on-court attributes. Sometimes he'll bring the team together and rally the troops and tell the team to regroup, that sort of thing. So I think that's where I sit on this sort of topic. But yeah. Any other thoughts? Throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. I'm just hanging around a bit longer because I figure that I'm not going to do the next game. So if you have anything to ask or anything to say, any comments to make, chuck them in the chat. We'll discuss it. We'll break it down a little. Otherwise, I'll head out. So I'll give you a few seconds. I'll give you a little bit of time, maybe 2 minutes to write a tweet out, or not tweet, comment. And if there's nothing else to say, we'll throw in the towel. Do you think the Nets can beat the Celtics? Well, we got close, didn't we? So, I don't think we'll beat the Celtics, but I think we'll give them another good, we'll test them out again. However, this time round, they've got Jaylen Brown back. And then, who's the other bloke? Cornet. I don't know if he's back, but yeah. It's going to be tougher. I think Boston are going to win more comfortably than what they did last game. And we did witness some shocking shooting performances on that night. Tatum, outside of the three, could not make a two for his life. Derek White only came to life in the second half. Peyton Pritchard, I don't know if he had an outlier of a performance. But because he actually has played well this season as a bench option for them. Sam Hauser went 2 of 10 from 3. So I don't know if he's going to be shooting at a higher volume, but even if he shoots 6 or 7, I feel like he'll make more than what he did out of the 10 that he shot against us the first time round. Besides, there's plenty of net Celtics games, so I figure if I miss one, I'll be able to catch up on the other two. Thanks, Donald, for the compliment. Love that. Solo Wing, see ya. Around the grounds, let's have a quick look. Cavaliers beat the Bulls, but only just. Their second half actually propelled them to a victory. Donovan had 36, and they had 6 in double figures. For the Bulls, Levine scored 26, Giddey had 18, and then Kobe White and Vucevic also had 20. So all 5 starters in double figures for the Bulls, but that wasn't enough. Houston beat the Wizards. Oh, baby, that is a great pickup. I got Bob Carrington in my fantasy team, and he has gotten 4 steals and 2 blocks, so happy days. But the Rockets, they looked pretty comfortable in their win. Şengün had 27 and 17. Again, brilliant for my fantasy team. 7 offensive rebounds for him as well. Thompson entered the starting lineup for Houston, and he had 4 steals and 4 blocks. He's going to be a defensive monster. I don't know how long Van Vliet's out for, but he's going to be great. And Tari Eason had 3 steals and 2 blocks off the bench. He's been a gun as well for them. Defensive monsters. OKC beat the Clippers without Chet. They scored 134 points. Shea had 45, Lou Dort at 19, and Jalen Williams at 28. So even with a team where they have no one taller than 6'6", they still got the W, and they got 6 offensive rebounds from their starting lineup. Zubac didn't even have a big game. Norman Powell had 31. Harden's just a bit weird these days. And then the Spurs beat the Kings. And the Kings were not nearly shorthanded. They had all their starters Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis all scored 20 or more, but they didn't even hit 100. And Wemby scored 34, had 14, 6 dimes, 3 blocks. CP3 with a double-double. Love it. We can beat them, but we need to start thinking like a veteran team because those 2 games we had lost, it was small details at the end of the game. I think with a young team, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get these random sort of moments, and that's why I say you need the vets to pull your team back in when they make these mistakes to help them learn from it because they've had more experiences, NBA experiences that they can draw upon. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you in about 4 days' time. It's been good. It's been fun. It's been real. But until the next one, we will see you. Well, yeah, we'll see you then. Have a good one. Have a good day. Bye for now.